Guys, how are we? Ben Cooper, Stroke No Limits. Alright, now we're going through some little tips with triathlon, and we're going to go into stage 2. You've just exited the water, you're into transition. Just remember, stay nice and relaxed in transition. You've got everything set up on the bike ready to go. Just keep nice and relaxed as you go through. I won't go through the transition, etc. But you're mounting onto the bike, and a lot of people will start to throw in nutrition straight away as soon as they get on the bike. Sometimes it can cause a bit of an issue in digestion because your heart rate's still up from the swim, you're rushing through, so it's best just to hold off a little bit if you can. You've got enough energy in your system. If it is an Ironman distance, okay, it's a little bit longer, but you probably should have had some water or something as you exited the water into transition anyhow. But if it is a shorter distance race, because you are pushing at a harder tempo, there's being more blood pulled away from your digestive tract, so it's going to make it harder to digest, so especially if you are already going dehydrated, etc. So just be careful. You're better off getting into a rhythm on the bike first. So you're getting on the bike and you're finding a good pace, just locking in. I'll go through the specifics if you are fly mounting or you got your shoes on already on the bike, etc., but we'll just keep it brief today. And yeah, so you're getting out on the bike and just finding your rhythm on the bike. And depending on what pace it is, it's going to be depending on what threshold, how you're going to pace it, etc. But just hold off from having anything too heavy on nutritionally. Get yourself maybe 10 minutes into the bike. Now, whether you've got bananas or if you've got gels or if you've got water, whatever, you've got to practice. In your training, you've got to practice on what you know. If it is hotter, your body's going to be dehydrated a lot faster, and it's going to your digestive system is going to find it a lot harder to digest the food as well. So making sure you are keeping hydrated and making sure why liquid fuel might be a better option for you, something that's a little bit cleaner, that's more sort of a more cleaner source of fuel. Like if it is a banana, but I use Temple Nutrition products, which has a lot of electrolytes in it as well. It's got your sodium levels, it's got magnesium in it, etc., and your essential amino acids. So when you're planning your race, pick points of when you're going to fuel. If it's going to be on the 10k mark, if it's going to be on the 5k mark, if it's going to be, a good guide is maybe every 15 minutes you're fueling and stuff like that. And if you are on a TT bike or if you're on a road bike, getting nice and aero, depending on the course, but getting nice and aero on the bike is going to could save you up to 20% of energy and stuff like that, and power, and as far as speed, etc. When you are cycling with turning your legs over, try and lift your two big toes, so that's going to promote a better circular motion as well, so you're not just putting too much pressure on your quads and your knees. So it's you're going to be activating your glutes and your hamstrings, and it'll just even out, so you're not going to fatigue in certain spots. If you do find your quads starting to fatigue a little bit, you can push your heels back into your shoes a little bit, so again that's going to give you more strength through your hamstrings and your glutes, so you're not just powering through the quads, so you can evenly distribute the power and the force that you're putting through. So again, you're not going to come to that you're not going to come to the run over toasted, and it'll just help just with the biomechanics. If your knees are flaying out, try and use the bar as a guide, so you're almost skimming the bar with your knees, so you're keeping that nice hip alignment. Don't be afraid to break up sections and getting out of the saddle, because getting out of the saddle again changes your biomechanics of your body and what muscles you're using as well. So again, you're going to be stretching out your hamstrings and using your glutes a little bit. Again, remember your core is like where your bladder is. So imagine there's a seatbelt running across your bladder. You want to be strong in your core. That's why strength training and Pilates and you learning how to activate your core is crucial with your cycling as well. So same with your swimming and running, but having a strong core will help you just keep that strong alignment again. So yeah, you're just breaking it up, and if you are getting a bit of a climb, don't be afraid to get it in the right. You want to have it in a little bit of a heavier gear than what you would be on seated, so then you can just power up through the hill. But don't be afraid to get off your seat and grind it up. No, don't grind, but you want to smash it up the hill. Again with your gearing. Now, I've seen a lot of people just cycling in the one gear or cycling in a low gear. You want to make sure that you've got resistance in the pedal stroke. So every resolution of you turn over, you're going to turn more. So you want to make sure you've got a good resistance as you're turning around. So you want to make sure it's not you're not freewheeling. You want to have some resistance, so it feels uncomfortable to turn the pedals over. So you want to make sure you've got resistance, so you're going to get more power per resolution. You're going to travel more distance per resolution as well. As you come off the bike, a good tip might be, just as you're coming in, maybe a couple of minutes beforehand, just knocking it down a little bit again, just increasing your cadence maybe to about 100, just so you can spin your legs out a little bit to loosen up your quads and get the blood flow back in your quads if you have been putting a lot of pressure on your quads. So it just flushes out a little bit. You might feel a little bit easier as you get onto the run. But again, just using markers like every 15 minutes to fuel, staying nice and as aero as possible. Relax your breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth to keep your heart rate down. If you are going by heart rate, just be aware of what your heart rate is. You don't want it too high, because then you're obviously going to be pushing too hard and you're going to bonk. Remember, if you are feeling it, just back it off and just pace yourself. And that's where training comes in to do with pacing. Just use markers. Okay, 5k, 10k. If it is a 20k bike ride, or it's 40k, you might go 10k for the half 70.3 for full distance to Ironman. You might want to be looking at half hour, 40 minutes, or you might be looking at 30k markers, 20k markers, etc., etc. So just have markers to bring yourself in. Have little mantras on as you swim, bike, running as well. It might be how bad do you want it. It might be, okay, just keep relaxed. It's a long day. Just think about, be grateful. Think about the people around you, and just have those little things, and be uncomfortable being comfortable with being uncomfortable. Those sort of things. Hope that helps. And just again, as you stay nice, relaxed as you dismount the bike and you run into transition, and keep cool, because you've got another run to go.